Konarak Sun Temple is a 13th century CE sun temple at Konarak, about 35 kilometers northeast from Puri city on the coastline in the Puri district of Odisha in eastern India. The temple is attributed to the king Narasimhadev I of the Eastern Ganga dynasty about 1250 CE. Dedicated to the Hindu sun god Surya, what remains of the temple complex has the appearance of a 100-foot high chariot with immense wheels and horses all carved from stone. Once over 200 feet, much of the temple is now in ruins, in particular the large Shikara tower over the sanctuary. At one time, these rose much higher than the mandapa that remains. The structures and elements that have survived are framed for their intricate artwork, iconography and themes, including erotic kama and mithuna scenes. Also called the Surya Devalaya, it is a classic illustration of the Odisha style of architecture or Kalinga architecture. The cause of the destruction of the Konarak temple is unclear and still remains a source of historical controversy. Theories range from natural damage to deliberate destruction of the temple in the course of being sacked several times by Muslim army between the 15th and 17th centuries. This temple was also called the Black Pagoda in European sailor accounts as early as 1676 because it looked like a great tiered tower which appeared black. Similarly, the Jagannath temple in Puri is called the White Pagoda. Both temples served as important landmark for sailors in the Bay of Bengal. The temple that exists today was partially restored by the conservation efforts of the British India era archaeological teams. Declared as an UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984, it remains a major pilgrimage site for Hindus who gather here every year for the Chandrabhanga Mela around the month of February. Konarak Sun Temple is depicted on the revered side of the Indian currency note of the 10 rupees to signify its importance to Indian culture and heritage. The walls of the temple from the temple's base through the crowning elements are ornamented with reliefs, many finished to jewelry quality miniature details. The terraces contain stone statues of male and female musicians holding various musical instruments including the Veena Mardalagini. Other major works of art include sculptures of Hindu deities, apsaras and images from the daily life and culture of the people. Various animals, aquatic creatures, birds, legendary creatures and friezes narrating the Hindu texts. The carvings include purely decorative geometric patterns and plant motifs. Some panels show images from the life of the king, such as one showing him receiving a counsel from a guru, where the artist symbolically portrayed the king as much smaller than the guru, with the king's sword resting on the ground next to him. The upana or molding layer at the bottom of the platform contains friezes of elephants, marching soldiers, musicians and images depicting the secular life of the people, including hunting scenes, a caravan of domestic animals, people carrying supplies on their head, or with the help of a bullock cart, travelers preparing a meal along the roadside and various festive processions. On the walls are found images depicting the daily life of the elite as well as the common people. For example, girls are shown rigging their wet hair, standing by a tree, looking from a window, playing with pets, putting on makeup while looking into a mirror, playing musical instruments such as the veena, chasing away a monkey who is trying to snatch items, a family taking leave of their elderly grandmother who seems dressed for a pilgrimage, a mother's blessing her son, a teacher with students, a yogi during a standing asana, a warrior being greeted with a namaste, a mother with her child, an old woman with walking stick and a bowl in her hands, comical characters among others. The Konarak temple is also known for its exquisite erotic sculptures or mithunas. These show couples in various stages of courtship and intimacy and in some cases coital themes. Notorious in the coital era for their uninhibited celebration of sexuality, these images are included with other aspects of human life as well as deities that are typically associated with Tantra. This led some to propose that the erotic sculptures are linked to the Vama Marga tradition. However, this is not supported by local literary sources and these images may be the same Kama and Mithuna scenes found integrated into the art of many Hindu temples of that age. The erotic sculptures are found on the temple Shikhara and these illustrates are all bandhas described as in the Kama Sutra. The other large sculptures are a part of the gateways of the temple complex, which include life-size lions subduing elephants, elephants subduing demons and horses. A major pillar dedicated to Aruna, called the Aruna Stambha, used to stand in front of the eastern stairs of the porch. This too was intricately carved with horizontal friezes and motif. It now stands in front of the Jagannath temple at Puri. The upper level and terraces of the Konarak temple contain large, more significant works of art than the lower level. These include images of musicians and mythical narratives, as well as sculptures of Hindu deities, including Durga in her Mahishasura-Mardini aspect, killing the shape-shifting buffalo demon, Vishnu in this Jagannatha form, and Shiva as a linga. Some of the better preserved friezes and sculptures were removed and relocated to the museum in Europe and major cities of India before 1940. The Hindu deities are also depicted in other parts of the temple. For example, the medallions of the chariot wheels of the Surya temple, as well as the Anuratha artwork of the Jagannamohana, show Vishnu, Shiva, Gajalakshmi, Parvati, Krishna, Narasimha, and various other divinities. Also found are on the Jagamohana the sculptures of Vedic deities such as Indra, Agni, Kubera, Varuna, and Aditya. The temple follows the traditional style of Kalinga architecture. It is oriented towards the east so that the first rays of the sunrise strike the main entrance. The temple, built from condylite rocks, was originally constructed at the mouth of river Chandrabhaga, but the waterline has receded since then. The wheels of the temples are grand sundials which can be used to calculate time accurately to a minute. The Konarak Sun Temple complex had ruins of many subsidiary shrines and monuments around the temple. Some of these include the Maya Devi temple, located west, been dated to the latest 11th century, earlier than the main temple. It consists of a sanctuary, a mandapa, and before it an open platform. It was discovered during an excavation carried out between 1900 and 1910. Early theories assume that it was dedicated to Surya's wife and the names named Maya Devi temple. However, later studies suggest that it was a Surya temple, albeit an older one, that was fused into the complex when the monumental temple was built. This temple also has numerous carvings, and a square mandapa is overlain by Saptaratha. The sanctum of this Surya temple features a Nataraja. Other deities, the interior include a damaged Surya holding a lotus, along with Agni, Varuna, Vishnu, and Vayu. Next, there is the Vaishnava temple located on the southwest, so-called Mahadevi temple. It was discovered during excavation in 1956. The discovery was significant because it confirmed that Konarak Sun Temple complex revered all the major Hindu tradition, was not an exclusive worship place for the Saura cult as previously believed. Kitchen. The monument is found on the south of the Bhoga Mandapa. It too was discovered during excavations in the 1950s. It includes means to bring water, cisterns to store water, drains, a cooking floor, depressions in the floor, probably for founding spices or grains, as well as several triple ovens for cooking. These structure may have been for festive occasion or as a part of a community feeding hall. According to Thomas Donaldson, the kitchen complex may have been added a little later than the original temple. There is two wells within the complex. The well one is monument is located north of the kitchen towards its eastern flank, was probably built to supply water to the community kitchen and the Bhoga Mandapa. Near the well are a pillared mandapa and 5 structures, some with semicircular steps whose role is unclear. And the second well, this is a monument and associated structure in the front of the northern staircase of the main temple with footrest, a washing platform, and a wash water drain system. It was probably designed for the use of pilgrims arriving at the temple. A collection of false sculptures can also be viewed at the Konarak Archaeological Museum, which is maintained by the Archaeological Survey of India, where they provide an unique audiovisual system of highlighting the history of the construction of the Konarak temple and the contemporary history of Odisha. It's an outstanding museum and a must visit for visitors coming to Konarak temple. The fallen upper portion of the temple is believed to have been studded with many inscriptions. Shoykot Kumar Basu, Kalinga Chronicle TV, Bureau Report.